Hello, hello, and welcome back as we try and figure out how many balls Jerry Seinfeld can keep in the air at once. In Perfidious, Pete plays XCOM, The Long War 2. And considering the fact that Jerry is a stand-up comedian and not a juggler, my guess is going to be that he'll be able to keep not enough balls in the air in order to service my needs. Not enough is going to be how many that I need him. Yeah, that's what we're going to get. I'll need more, but he won't be able to get me there. Somebody right now is like, oh, Pete, even if all the balls in the world took to the skies at once, there wouldn't be enough in the air to service your needs. And yes, very funny, and also you're probably not wrong. But it's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the cavalcade of gigs that we've got lined up for Jerry here. We've got back-to-back missions because we're going to need him to go do this groundlings infiltration, and then when that's finished, he's got to come over here and rescue this dude from a cell. So Jerry's got a lot of stuff on his plate and not a lot of time to handle all of that stuff on his plate, and I'm starting to think that he's not going to have the soup for it. Mostly because that guy with the funny accent threw him out of his restaurant, I guess, for a year. And he's like, no soup for you, which gives Jerry a decided lack of soup. And now that I'm thinking about that episode, was the Soup Nazi episode, was that actually a restaurant? I don't remember the particulars of the Soup Nazi episode because it's like one of the few episodes of Seinfeld I've actually seen. But it didn't feel like a restaurant. It felt like more of a soup kitchen or a food truck or something. Why were they eating at a soup kitchen? They had, it seems like the kind of thing that people from Seinfeld actually would have done because by and large, they were kind of dick faces. I don't remember the particulars because, spoilers. I actually didn't watch a lot of Seinfeld. I mean, it's not really a spoiler, I think, from my tone of voice and from the haziness of the particulars of the episode. It's clear I didn't watch a lot of Seinfeld. Like, I never watched it on a first run and only occasionally later caught it when it went into syndication. Pretty much every episode of Seinfeld I ever saw was while I was cooking dinner after getting home from work and waiting for a rerun of The Simpsons to come on because Seinfeld aired in a time slot before Simpsons reruns, which is what I was actually interested in. Nonetheless, Soup Nazi, Soup Kitchen, or actual restaurant, not enough soup is the point. In order to pull this off, what's going to have to happen is Jerry's going to have to get in here in Operation Heavy Dream, get the goods, and get out, all while skating through the mission completely untouched. Why does he have to be untouched? Because we can't have Jerry with any downtime if he's going to make his connecting Sky Ranger flight to his next mission. He doesn't have very long to change gates at the terminal. He's really got to go. We also brought Bob Newhart along on this mission because, reasons, I guess. Right, so we got a scout drone. What we really need to do is find Bob Newhart a nice, quiet place to lie low and throw an evac flare within easy escape distance of that. Oh, wow, this map is really strangely laid out. It's also titanormous. It's like freaking huge. So we got 8 turns, and we have to go a really, really, really long way. All right, well, if this drone patrols towards us, he could potentially pin Jerry down. He could, he could pin him down, but I don't think he's likely to. Okay, Jerry's still okay. Bob Newhart, we're really just looking for, like, a place to park you, buddy. That's just real. No, don't activate a pod. Wait, that activates a pod and? Oh, it's because you're dumping your concealment and activating that drone. Yeah, maybe don't do that. Let's run Bob Newhart to the roof. Now, Bob Newhart's got a little more, he's got a little more flexibility than your Seinfeld. He's not just the observational humor. Bob Newhart can drop a little bit of dry, witty repartee on you as well. Get kind of a sort of an insult comic kind of flair, but without the actual insults. And I say that because he's versatile. He's a ghost walker as well, so if it's going to be real hard for the enemy to pin Bob Newhart in place. The real trick is going to be finding Bob Newhart a place where he can hide and throw that bunker, because we do have 3 turns of evac. We got to wait once the flare hits the pavement.
Enemy squad located.
Yeah, see, that's going to be damnably inconvenient is how I would classify those guys. So, Bob, we could run you to, like, here without you getting spotted. If that drone turns around, that would be spectacularly bad for us, but it does appear to be patrolling this way. And it's not like they can pin you down anyway, Bob, because, Ghost Walker. And if we can get maybe to this far side of the map, we could then hurl the flare for Seinfeld and just sort of hunker down and hole out. Maybe. Let's try it.
Location confirmed.
As long as Bob doesn't step on a civilian when he comes down, Very clever pathing. And did you see that? That's the versatility I'm talking about from Bob Newhart. He parkoured his way down onto this old busted refrigerator, which probably had Indiana Jones inside of it, dashed across the top of the old barbecue grill, hit this concrete barrier, and then Mirror's edged his way along it. Oh, Bob Newhart, that was brilliant, buddy. Bob Newhart holds the world record speed run for Mirror's Edge. The world speed run record for Mirror's Edge. Little known fact, Bob Newhart, he's that record holder. Bob Newhart, speedrunner. So the robots and whatnot are definitely going to patrol towards us. This robot, fortunately, is patrolling away from us, which is fantastic. All right, I mean, it's starting... Wait, these guys didn't move at all. Oh, very interesting. So it's actually starting to look like maybe, just maybe, we got a chance here. So all we really have to do is get Bob Newhart out of line of sight of everything, then. And have him find a quiet spot. Man, he's got so much map to work with over here, too. Just have him find a quiet spot to hurl the flare. Well, that ain't good. So the drone is going to make hiding difficult unless we maybe take Bob to the other side of the train. Could do that. We are still working with a relatively limited number of turns here, so we got to be a little careful. If there's a pod here, I was about to say there's almost no chance of there being another pod over here where Jerry of Seinfeld might accidentally activate them. And, well, one, that ain't true, and two, so much for hiding on the other side of the freaking train, because that plan ain't going to work either. Or is it? Because these guys are patrolling away. Jerry's sitting on the marker. No, this drone is not cooperating at all. Okay, Bob, I mean, we know that drone is back there, so you're going to have to take steps to not activate him right now. If Bob Newhart does activate that drone, I mean, I suppose, worst case scenario. You know what? Nobody can see Bob Newhart right now. I mean, literally, no one can see him at the moment. He is a ghost. It's going to be, I believe we got 3 turns to hold out here, right? Yeah, we have 3 turns. So if we had Bob Newhart drop the flare, move, and hack that drone to shut it down, that would get us most of the way home. We're a little too close to that stationary pod for my taste. I think we'll be better served by just biding our time a little bit. On my way. Let's take it easy, take it sleazy, take it slow. In fact, you know what we could do is we could have Bob get inside this train car. Because he would be mostly unobservable from the inside of this bad boy. Like, he's going to have line of sight to next to... And, yeah, you know what? That's a better idea. Let's just do that. And then we can have Bob flip the evac flare out this... We could just have him chuck it out here so that Seinfeld can make it in 1 turn. Is he going to be... Can he flip it to a spot Seinfeld can get to in 1 turn? No, he cannot. That's going to be very important. Seinfeld... kind of just wants you on Overwatch here. We gotta wait and see how our patrol pass work. Yeah, these guys are coming back. Nope, they're actually moving away. They can't see Seinfeld. Alright, you know what, Newhart? Here. Flip this bad boy. Well, I mean, are they gonna be able to see him 3 turns from now, though? That's the question. If we move Bob Newhart here, can anybody see him? No, nobody can see Bob from right there. Okay, fantastic. So then what we're going to do, we're going to have Newhart do this. Get it out as close as you can, Bobby. Bring in the evac. And then we're going to have Newhart just dash back inside here. He should be almost unobservable from this location. In fact, this car is fully concealed, right? It is fully concealed. So our best bet would actually be to put Bob Newhart here, because he would be... Yeah, he's going to be visible from basically no tiles inside here. Unless he spawns a pod on this move. Yeah, we're golden. All right, Seinfeld, then you just got to keep overwatching, bro. This is it. Perfect stealth, man. The clandestine nature of our operations cannot be questioned. I'm not that worried about it there, Bradford. I mean, we've got this shit on lock, John. Do you not see this? Do you not see what we've got going? Evac beacon is here. Seinfeld's next to the thing. He hacks the thing and leaves on his next turn. I'm gonna ghost walk just out of, like, unnecessarily out of precaution to make sure that he's much more difficult to step on. Bob Newhart can double dash to here, but it doesn't matter because Bob Newhart ain't fucking moving. He's going on Overwatch. These guys are roaming around. They got no clue whatsoever. Giant blue evac flare over there burning, doing its thing. Be like, hey, somebody better come get some. 2 turns till container detonation. Evac arrives this turn. And it's going to be a hack and dash. This is one of the reasons right here why we use the ghost walk. Possibly we could have been revealed there had we not done it. So what's the proper order of operations here? First things first, Bob Newhart takes his move because Bob Newhart doesn't have Shadow Step. I'm worried about these guys' reaction moves getting them a bunch of bullshit Overwatch or shots. So Bob goes first, gets to safety, and then evacs. Oh, actually Bob didn't even get spotted. Okay, well, see you in hell then. Bob Newhart's just, he's like, oh, I'm packing it in. Had my dinner, how about you? We're gonna hack this chest. And then Seinfeld with his Shadow Step ability, we're just gonna leave. 2 new Faceless join the Haven in this region, or a cache of enemy intel at 30%. You know what? Give me that intel. We got more than twice. Yeah, well. What'd I say about not having enough soup, Jeff? Jerry? Why did you say Jeff, Pete? Because every time I say not enough soup or anything about a can of soup, I always think of Jeff Suppan, who used to be a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. Because they called him Soup Can. Got not enough in the tank, Soup Can! That's Jerry Seinfeld. Except this time, the soup can actually had enough in the tank. I don't need to see this animation. I just want to leave now. Any of these guys shoot Seinfeld and I'm going to be utterly fucking furious. Alright then. Let's go. See you in hell. Adios, bitches. The package is secure. We got Jerry Seinfeld's penis and potentially testicles back into the thing in one piece. Flawless mission, baby. Operation Heavy Dream. It was beautiful. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. Also, how can you have a heavy dream? It sounds like a euphemism for a nocturnal emission. Oh, how come your sheets are all sticky? Ah, I had a heavy dream last night. Heavy petting dream. No, seriously though, I really need to try and get some of the boys out of the building before I go to sleep, because waking up to that mess is not pleasant. I could just handle it myself. Prior, perhaps is the word I was looking for. Previously? Maybe I made an unwitting portmanteau. Prior. It's a combination of previously and prior, which are words that mean the same thing and thus don't need to be made into a portmanteau. Just, if I handle the situation prior to falling asleep, I can take that and make sure the mess goes into an appropriate receptacle, like, a tissue. And it's no muss, no fuss. I can sleep through the night undisturbed. You'll still probably get a reflex erection, of course, but that's just, well, that's the thing that happens. There actually is no explanation for the old reflex erection. We know they happen. Scientists don't know why. Jerry, the Gopher Seinfeld has done it, though. He's done it. Promotion, which means not conceal? I thought you were going to get conceal here. God damn it, Seinfeld. All right, just take Blade Storm, I guess. Shadow Strike is intriguing because that actually does work on melee hits while concealed, so it would give him the opportunity to run up and make one really desperate dash. I just feel like Blade Storm is overall a more utility ability. Bob Newhart didn't get shit out of that mission. We did pick up a free laser sight, though, so hey, an extra 5% chance to critical. That's... well, it's a thing. We should also definitely get Jerry on his way to his connecting flight, because I don't want him to miss his gate. 2 days. Okay, I'm going to say not now, but only for, like, the briefest of seconds, because we got to get Jerry Seinfeld started on this mission. Then, I will beg, borrow, steal, kill, or murder to get that engineer in my wicked clutches. I don't suppose we could get Bob Newhart on this one, can we? What's the mission here? Rescue? Oh, this is a rescue mission? Oh, we probably don't really need Bob Newhart, but you know what? If we could get him in on this, why wouldn't we? That puts us directly at the limit. Can we speed that up a little bit by getting rid of this? If we ditch this smoke grenade, will that get us under? If we ditch the smoker, no, it does not. At 3 days, 13 hours, we might run into a situation where we wind up with like 99 or 98% infiltrated. I'm not really sure it's worth it. Plus, okay, Jerry, I trust you. You got this. After the mission you just pulled off, I have confidence that you can also pull this one off. I'm going to leave you to it. Pete, what's with the demands you're putting on Jerry's time? These are a lot of gigs, Pete, and funny doesn't just happen. It turns out funny is planned, Pete. Funny takes a lot of work. Yeah, you know what else takes a lot of work? Finding a freaking engineer. We're about to get our 3rd engineer, and this is the most important thing we could do, because this unlocks like 5 projects I am desperate to do. And so instead, we're going to have the Laugh Factory go do a mission. Okay. This counters the hidden dark event. I really wanted to counter the one that was not hidden, though, if at all possible. I very much would have rather countered the other one other than Operation Rotting Wheel. We've got still 11 hours. I guess that'll be our next mission. We'll have to wrap that up next time. So short episode, but, you know, when they go as smooth as Seinfeld and Newhart right there. Seinfeld and Newhart. Not quite Martin and Lewis, because both of... Wait a minute. I was going to say both of them are dead, but... Bob Newhart is, I think, still alive. Seinfeld is definitely alive. And Jerry Lewis isn't dead yet. I mean, soon, thankfully, but he's not dead. Oh, Pete, did you just say thankfully? Yeah, you know, I don't really think that Jerry Lewis is very funny. They say 50 million Frenchmen can't be wrong, but in this case, I'm going to beg to differ with 50 million Frenchmen, because apart from the stuff he did with Martin and Lewis, Jerry Lewis is not funny. Martin and Lewis... It wasn't that great either, but it was less unfunny than the stuff Jerry Lewis did alone. I mean, after Martin and Lewis, he was mostly known for being a racist stereotype in Breakfast at Tiffany's, and then also for being the telethon guy. And I support his telethon work. Hey, he's done good things for Jerry's kids, all 18 million of them, which doesn't say a lot for his promiscuity. Man, that Jerry guy gets around. Also, you know what? If you've got the genetic markers for that particular disease, Jerry, maybe it's not the greatest idea in the world to be going around siring children. That's all I'm saying. You wouldn't have to be doing all those telethons if you didn't sire so many of Jerry's kids. I've completely lost my train of thought, because now I'm imagining every one of Jerry's kids was actually biologically Jerry's child, because that guy fucked more women than Wilt Chamberlain. So you know what? I'm just going to check out of the episode. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Support really does mean a lot. If you'd like to see Jerry Seinfeld get it on with 25 million of those female Frenchmen. Can you say female Frenchmen? You know what? I said it. It's done. If you want to check that out, consider subscribing as well. More bizarre brain droppings on a daily basis. Also XCOM. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.